Hello everyone, welcome to Wine and Cheese, the magical match. This is the first episode of the Taste to Travel season. My name is Marija. I'm the founder of CheeseWineTravel. I teach wine and cheese classes in a beautiful Napa Valley. I'm also certified sommelier and artisan cheese specialist, but more important, I have a great passion for wine and food, especially cheese from around the world. My cuisine is essentially Mediterranean, influenced by many travels to North and South America, North Africa, and many countries in Europe. Today we are going to teach you how to shop for the cheese with the confidence, about different styles of cheeses, main categories, about different styles of wines, how philosophy of the wine and cheese pairings, and how to find your next perfect wine and cheese match. How many times you go to the store and you see hundreds of different cheeses and you are not familiar with half of them, you cannot even pronounce their names, and you always end up buying the same ones. But how can you find some new favorite ones if you always stay in your comfort zone? So we're going to discuss different styles of the cheeses, and no matter of the name, if you just look for the certain style of cheese, you know what to expect in a texture, flavor profile, and you'll be sure you're gonna get cheese you will like and maybe discover something new. Today we have a triple cream cheese called Devil's Gulch. It's made by Cowgirl Creamery in California. We have a goat cheese, Vance et Grand-Mère from Loire Valley in France. We have a Bréberousse, which is a soft sheep cheese from France as well, from Lyon. We have a Moliterno Tartufo, which is a semi-hard cheese made of the sheep milk in Sardinia, and also it has these beautiful marbles made of truffles. We have aged Parmigiano Reggiano, made in Emilia-Romagna, only place where it can be made in Italy, and also a 4-year aged Gouda called Noord Hollander from Holland. We're gonna dive in each cheese individually, but those are some basic styles and categories. And now, don't worry, even if you don't remember all these names, by the end of our class, you'll be able to shop for the cheese and know what to expect just looking at them in the store. So let's start with the number one. First, cutting cheese can be really challenging, especially if you have a soft cheese. So there is a perfect tool. This is called a cheese wire. When you cut the cheese, since cheese always ripens from outside to inside, cheese is just like the wine, it's a living organism and it's changing. You want to cut through the middle part, so you want to cut through whole cheese, right? You want to taste all the layers, and wire it's really easy way to do that. So it's gonna look like a little cake. And when you see cheese like this, with this white fluffy rind, I'm sure that most of you are very familiar with the brie, with the camembert, so that's all means it's a bloomy rind cheese. And what you can expect when it comes to the flavor profile, you can expect to be rich, creamy, buttery. Brie, camembert are double cream cheeses, which means that butterfat content it's about 50% minimum. But triple cream cheese, it's 75% butterfat, even more delicious, which means more rich, more creamy, more buttery, all these beautiful flavors. This one has, it looks like very vibrant. It has those red pepper flakes, which are just warming, but not very spicy. They will add like beautiful crunch and contrast to the texture. But if we have a spicy pepper flake, that's something to pay attention to, because be careful about the rinds. They can be really fun, but if you're pairing your cheese with a wine, that's something that can interfere with your wine. So always think about overall flavor profile. And we talk about wine and food pairings or wine and cheese pairings. What are we looking for? We're looking about the balance. We want them to complement each other. There are two main principles. We can pair wine and cheese based on the textures and flavors. We can complement or we can contrast them. Contrasting pairings is usually a little more risky and more extreme, but when they work, it's a pure magic. They're really fun and exciting. So for the first pairing, we always taste the wine first. and I cannot wait much longer to taste this delicious champagne. I have the Andrew It's one of my favorite producers. And what is champagne? Champagne is a sparkling wine, and where the bubbles come from comes from the second fermentation, and it can be only made in Champagne region in France. But there are a lot of delicious sparkling wines around the globe where you can use for your pairing. So I'm using champagne, but you can also use Italian Prosecco or Franciacorta made in the same traditional method champenoise, Spanish cava. You can use California sparkling wine. You can use the Vouvray, Chenin Blanc from Loire Valley. Effect will be very similar. So I'm tasting the wine first. Delicious as expected. So we have all these beautiful flavors of pomegranate and watermelon, raspberry, bright, citrusy, fresh, and you just want another sip. But for that, you want another bite of the cheese. So I'm gonna taste the piece of the cheese now. So as we said, this is a triple cream. And as we said, cheese always ripens from outside to inside, and it's changing. So this is still in a really young age. In a week, this cheese is gonna taste different, and it's gonna also, you will see how it's ripening, it becomes creamier from outside to inside. So I get all that buttercream, rich, creamy, delicious. Tasting the wine again. So the cheese really coats your mouth with all the creaminess, and you'd have a sip of the wine that it's crisp and bright and citrusy and refreshing, and it cleans your palate. So you just want another bite of the cheese and another sip of the wine, and it's a never-ending story until you run out of both, and then you run to get some more. So next time when you go to the cheese shop, don't worry if you don't find Devil's Gulch. It can be Brillat Savarin, Domaine de Village, Délices de Bourgogne, Mount Thame, Great Champenois, doesn't matter. If you ask for a triple cream cheese, this is the style of the cheese you're going to get. And get a bottle of sparkling wine and you'll get your perfect magical match. Also, this kind of cheese is usually the first one to disappear from any party cheese boards. Everybody loves the triple creams. I'm a big believer in what grows together goes together, and now we're arriving to Loire Valley, known also as the Garden of France, known for making a beautiful Sauvignon Blanc Sancerre, but also for excellent cheese making. Just looking at this cheese, this one is called Valençay, this one is called Grand-Mère, but when you see cheese like that in a store, it looks pure white and has a gray rind, and it's a little wrinkly too. So most likely that's going to be a goat milk cheese, and a gray part, it's actually a vegetal ash, so absolutely safe to eat. And it's made from burned wine canes or charcoal. And you can see, actually, we were talking about how cheese ripening from outside to inside. Here you can really see, you know, this nice layer under the rind. It's becoming more creamy, and you can expect texture like a melted ice cream, while middle part that it's not ripe yet, it's going to be more like chalky, more fudge-like. Something to really, highlight is we have different grape varieties, Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Cabernet, but also when it comes to the cheese, we have different kinds of milk. We have goat milk, sheep, cow, and they all provide a different flavor profile as well. We start with a triple cream cow's milk that has a kind of rich, buttery, creamy notes. But then we are moving to the goat cheese, which is naturally more citrusy, more bright, has a very lemony mineral notes. We started with a conscious pairing with a triple cream and champagne, but now we're gonna have complementary pairing. We have pairing the cheese that has a kind of, as we said, bright lemony mineral notes with a wine with the same notes. We are pairing with Sauvignon Blanc from the same region, from Sancerre. And it has a beautiful aroma of grapefruit, lemon, stone fruits, kiwi, gooseberry. It's really bright and delicious and very refreshing. And now we're going to taste with a goat cheese, and this is the Grand-Mère, and we also have Valençay. And every fine piece of cheese has a great story to tell, and Valençay has an awesome story to share as well. Legend says that a long time ago, this cheese used to have a pyramid shape. This is a Valençay. But after Napoleon returned to his castle in Valençay, he saw this pyramid-shaped cheese everywhere, reminding him of his miserable battles in Egypt. So he took a sword out, cut the top off, and since then, Valençay has a flat top. Very different shape, but level of deliciousness is the same. Magic with these pairings really happens when you taste them both. because we said the cheese has kind of like chalky texture, but when you pair with the Sauvignon Blanc, it changed to creaminess. It's really amazing. So you talk about wine and cheese pairings, but until you taste them and you really find the perfect match, you know it's delicious. You just want another bite and another sip. And I know shopping for Italian wines and French and Spanish and European wines in general can be really challenging because you often see just the name on the label and not description of the grapes or what style of wine to expect. So the best will be when you go to the wine store, ask sommelier there. Tell what kind of wines do you like. Do you like more mineral? Do you like citrusy? Do you like more fruit forward, richer, lighter? They can really help you with that. And then you can go and shop for the cheese. After the class, you'll definitely be more confident to buy and find the perfect match for you. And no matter if you have Sauvignon Blanc from Loire Valley Sancerre, it can be Napa Valley Sauvignon Blanc. Since Napa Valley is a little warmer, we're gonna get a little more tropical notes, like a more passion fruit, grapefruit, but also it can be Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand, from Austria, from Italy. The effect will be the same. If you have 3 glasses of milk, cows, sheep and goat, which one do you think has the highest fat content? I'm sure naturally most of you will think it's a cow's milk, but it's actually sheep. Sheep, then cow and then goat. So that will reflect in the cheese as well. So we are arriving to the Brie-Berouse, again France, Lyon. Brie-Berouse means red sheep in French, and it's a sheep's milk cheese. You can see it's very rich, very creamy, it has this beautiful, very spreadable paste, and looks orange. So this is a tricky one, because usually when you see a cheese that has orange rind, you can expect to be, it's called wash rind cheese, known also as a stinky cheese. So it's gonna be a little more funky, earthy, mushroomy, meaty, and they can be very intense. Don't even try to ride with the public transportation in France. Having a Poise in your bag is delicious, but it's very intense. And if you would like to explore that category of the cheese, I will suggest to start with something a little milder, like Red Hawk from California Cowgirl Creamery, or Taleggio from Italy. However, we have Brie-Berouse, and even it looks orange, it's not wash rind, actually, it's milder. The color comes from annatto, which is derived from the plant, so absolutely safe to eat. And that's always a question I come across. Can I eat this rind? So all 3 cheeses we have today so far are absolutely edible. The bloomy rind, it's edible, it's a personal choice. I enjoy it because I think it adds some extra complexity to the overall flavor profile of the cheese. But as cheese ripens, the rind is going to become a little more mushroomy, a little more intense. Vegetal ash, yes, absolutely edible, and then Brie-Berouse has also really delicious rind that adds kind of intensity to the cheese as well. So we started with a conscious pairing, we had complementary, and then we have another complementary pairing today. So we are pairing this beautiful sheep milk cheese with Californian Chardonnay, comes from a Russian river. It's the old vine. So what does old vine mean? Means that the older vines, we get lower yields, we get a smaller quantity but great quality of the grapes, and also more fruit concentration. And we also have the cheese that's kind of very intense, very concentrated. You know, it's a really burst of flavors. So as we said, taste the wine first. Even wine is really rich. Spend some time in a French oak, which means it's gonna get some flavor of toasted almond. Hazelnut has a beautiful lemon, stone fruits, peach. So we are matching with the flavor now of the cheese and the texture as well. And smell your cheese, because wine and the cheese are all about the aroma. You can smell up to 10,000 different aromas, while your palate is only limited to 5 different tastes, including the savory umami. This cheese is perfect. It's rich, it's really salty, it's nutty too. And the nuttiness really matches nicely the oak notes from the wine. But also great about this wine is it has a kind of mild lemon, bright acidity that will cut nicely to the richness of the cheese, and also saltiness of the cheese is going to highlight the flavors of the wine. So you're really going to enjoy both even more when they pair together. So today we paired the Brie-Berouse with the Sonoma Chardonnay. Of course, this pairing will work with the Napa Valley Chardonnay as well, but also Chardonnay from Burgundy, and we have different styles. If you're looking for a complementary pairing, go with the richer style of Chardonnay, some nice Meursault, But if you're looking for a contrast pairings, go with the Chablis, which means bright, mineral, citrusy crisp that will really nicely cut through and contrast the texture of the cheese. But also any richer whites and barrel-aged whites, or as I said, if you're looking for a contrast pairing, you can go with the Chenin Blanc, you can go with the Pinot Grigio or Pinot Gris, or if you're looking for the richer whites, you can go with a nice Viognier or some Chardonnay also from Italy or South America or other parts of the world. So choice is yours, and I would suggest taste both and see which one works the best for you. Trust your own palate, that's one you have to please. And by now, I'm sure that red wine lovers are wondering when are going to taste red wine and cheese, and your time is now. And we are going to one of my absolutely favorite wine regions in the world, where I can also talk about my favorite principle, what grows together goes together. We are going to Piedmont, and we have this beautiful Vieri 2015 Barolo, and major grape is Nebbiolo, king of the wine for a reason. And we also have cheese that is made in Italy. Actually, cheese comes from Sardinia. It's called Molitano Truffle, but it looks like this beautiful marble because of these injected truffles. And when it comes to the truffles or rinds and these different flavors you can find in a cheese, so that's something to really keep in mind when it comes to the wine pairings. Because as we mentioned, if you're enjoying cheese on its own, these different flavors can be fun, but if you're having wine, that's something really to pay attention, because we should look about overall flavor profile and how will that interact with our wine. So here, truffles and Piedmont, reason why people travel to Italy in fall and winter to enjoy them both together. And we have them here on our cheese board and our glass. And when it comes to the truffles, what flavors to expect? It's earthy, it's mushroom. You close your eyes, you smell it, and you feel like you're going through the woods. Then we smell this beautiful Nebbiolo. So we have these aromas: rose petals, strawberry, cherry, tar, mushroom powder, truffles. Delicious as always when I have a piece of cheese. This style of cheese, it's semi-hard cheese. It's actually basically made in the style of pecorino, or in Spain it will be called manchego. And this style of the cheese, it's a sheep milk cheese. It's a really wine friendly. It's a safe choice. You're wondering which cheese to pair with your Pinot Noir, with your different red wines. Manchego is the way to go, or this style of the cheese, right? But with the truffles, I will go with, if not Nebbiolo, I will pair with other wines that have earthy characteristics more than the fruit-forward wines. Great truffle aroma, but also really nice and creamy on the palate. And paired together, we have all these flavors. It's a really intense, it's a truffle bomb. I get the truffles, I get the mushrooms, but then also salt, fat, protein. When you have wines that are richer in tannic structure, that's definitely Nebbiolo, that always looks lighter than it tastes. But also think about Merlot, Syrah, fuller body wines. Think about salt, fat, protein. Salt is a turbocharger for flavors. It's a great friend in the kitchen. It makes tannins much lighter and silkier, or how people explain smoother, but also intensify the flavors from the wine. And then fat and protein also make tannins much lighter. Think about having a black tea, you put a little milk in it to polymerize the tannin. It's the same, it's a wine and cheese. Try it at home, works each time. So together, this is one of the matches that is absolutely my favorite. You can also enjoy this cheese shaving in your risotto and add some nice little truffle notes, then open bottle of Nebbiolo or other favorite wine with some earthy notes, and you'll be in for a treat. Truffles in Molitano Tartufo, these kind of truffles are actually my favorite. They're black truffles. They're most versatile. You can use do so many things in the kitchen with them. Of course, you can shave them over your pasta or risotto. You can also stuff them under the chicken skin with some nice Madeira and butter. But there are a lot of different kinds of truffles, and you can enjoy them all year round. Black truffles are the season in the winter time. Then we have bianchetti, which happen in the spring. They look like a white. They're a little less intense than the white truffles, but also the price is very different, so very affordable and easy to find. Then we have summer truffles, Burgundy truffles. They also have culinary value. They're less aromatic, but if you go to Italy or Spain or France in summer, you can find these truffles everywhere. They're shaved in like a snow and they're super delicious. Then we have a white truffle. This is most prized ones because white truffle cannot be cultivated. You cannot inoculate the cheese like a black truffle, so they're most rare. And they're very delicate. You don't cook with the white truffles, you just shave them over a warm dish to highlight that aroma. But thankfully, because of the Australia and their amazing truffle season, we can have truffles all year round. Now it's a summer and it's a winter in Australia, and we can still enjoy this beautiful, black truffles from there. And now something for Cabernet lovers, because I'm sure there are some of you who drink only Cabernet waiting all this time, to start talking about your favorite wine and which cheese to pair with the wine as well. So I have Napa Valley Cabernet here, very classic example. And what we expect when it comes to the flavors. Cabernet, it's a bold wine. It's powerful, has a lot of dark fruits, some toasted oak notes, baking spices like cinnamon, clove, and nutmeg. It has a lot of tonic structure. So fuller body wine, fuller body cheese. Now we're looking for more aged cheeses. And I have one of the cheeses, it's a very misunderstood in this country. It's called Parmigiano Reggiano. And look at the rind. So Parmigiano Reggiano, it's often mistaken with the Parmesan, which can be made anywhere in the world, but Parmigiano Reggiano can be made only in Emilia-Romagna in Italy. It's made the same way for 1,000 years, created by monks originally. Nothing changed since then when it comes to the flavor profile and tradition. It's only made from the skim milk, from the salt and rennet. And also it's a lactose-free cheese. So for lactose intolerant, you can still enjoy unlimited quantities of Parmigiano Reggiano. And also, this one is aged for 24 months, and it created all these salt kind of crunchy crystals. They're actually called tyrosines. They're amino acids, and great fact is that eating those help you to produce serotonin. So excuse to have another piece of cheese, which I'm going to do right now. And so literally eating Parmigiano Reggiano makes you happy. And that can apply also for other more aged cheeses, like extra-aged Gouda. Here I have a 4-year-old Gouda called Noord-Hollander. Comes from the southern part of Holland, where cows graze only on the lush vegetation that has a lot of minerals and clay, and that will also translate in the milk as well. But when I smell Parmigiano, as we said, always rely on the nose when it comes to the cheese and wine, because you're going to enjoy much more aroma than a flavor. I get like pineapple, macadamia nuts, toasted almonds. It's really cheese, it's full of flavors. And what is also important is the serving temperature. Be sure your cheeses are not too cold when you serve them, just like the wine, they will mute the flavors. Soft cheeses, I suggest taking out of the fridge and a pack for about 30 minutes before serving. Hard cheese is 45 minutes to 1 hour. You'll enjoy your cheese and wine much more. I'm going to taste the Cabernet. So blackberry, blueberry, dark fruits, plum, a little cinnamon, but it's a really powerful wine. I'm looking for, as I mentioned earlier, salt, fat, protein. And the impression of the wine really changes after tasting the cheese. You're gonna get lighter tannins. Tannins were really powerful when I tried them originally, but also the salt from the cheese really intensified all the flavors in the wine. So I get all the fruit, all the savory elements. It's just a perfect pairing. You can do the same with your extra-aged Gouda. But as I mentioned, lighter wines, lighter cheeses, fuller body wine, fuller body cheese. Follow that concept when it comes to wine and food pairings in general. It's much more easier than you might think. Also, I do enjoy my extra-aged Gouda with a cup of espresso. It's also great with the dessert wines. If you like 41 wines like sherry, Madeira, Sauterne, sweet wines, that would be really great contrast pairings. I enjoy my desserts usually in liquid form, and I pair them with the cheeses. It's a contrast pairing that's a little more extreme, more fun, and more exciting. We paired the Parmigiano Reggiano and extra-aged Gouda with the Cabernet, but this pairing would also work with other fuller body red wines like the Syrah, also Cabernet from different parts of the world. We can go with the Super Tuscan from Italy, from Bordeaux, If you have wine that's more fruity, like let's say Zinfandel, I would probably go with extra-aged Gouda. It has a kind of flavor of roasted hazelnut, butterscotch, salt caramel. It's really intense. It's aged for 4 years. So basically by aging, cheese becomes drier, more intense, more concentrated. And as we mentioned, fuller body wine, fuller body cheese. It's actually that simple. Also, when you think about other additions like crackers, baguette, I think plain crackers are a perfect choice, as well as the baguette, especially with the softer cheeses. As much as I enjoy crackers with like different herbs and spices, again, that will interfere with your wine. And cheese. So let wine and cheese shine on its own and together, and all other additions, let's just be there to help them to highlight the flavors, not to interfere or change the overall flavor profile. So we went through a lot of different cheeses today, different styles of the cheese. Triple cream, we went to the goat cheese, we had the sheep milk, we had the semi-hard sheep milk cheese from Italy, Parmigiano Reggiano, and extra-aged Gouda. So when I create the cheese boards, I try to have at least 3 different milks, cow, sheep, and goat, and 3 different styles of cheese. Soft cheeses, semi-hard, and hard. That way, no matter which wines you have prepared for your party or tasting, you will be covered. So the best way to learn more about wine and cheese is to taste as many as wine cheeses as possible. Keep exploring, keep looking for your perfect match. That's the only way to find, and trust your own palate. Only wrong answer is stop tasting. So yeah, keep exploring. You can also reach me out directly at info@CheeseWineTravel.com. You can follow my next episode of Taste to Travel series. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, CheeseWineTravel. Hope you all enjoy wine and cheese, the magical match, as much as I did. Cheers, everyone!